What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Thinking Out Loud About Basketball. And today we got some sad news out in the NBA. Kyrie Irving tore his ACL out in the game versus the Kings last night. Barely played 10 minutes in that game before he went up for a layup and tore his ACL. But he was still able to get up, knock down some free throws, saying thank you, God, and everything like that before he went out with his injury. Anthony Davis had to help him off. Praise up to him. Hopefully he comes back within this next year or so. Probably won't see him until the middle of next season, but hopefully he comes back stronger than ever, and we don't have to miss out on that game that Kyrie Irving brings us, that excitement that he brings us. So hopefully he has a speedy recovery and comes back from that. But we got to talk about what's going on with the Mavericks. The Mavericks got something going on in that water down in Dallas, man. Something ain't going right. Their whole team is literally basically injured. They're living in the hospital right now. They have no bigs. Gafford's injured. Lively's injured. Davis is injured. Davis only played like a half for them before he got injured. That is what the Mavericks traded for. So my question is today, did Nico Harrison curse the Mavericks? Did Nico curse the Mavericks? Ever since then, nothing has gone right for the Mavericks. Soon as you bring in Anthony Davis, he goes down. He comes in. He has a dominant first half. He looks like he's that guy right now. Like, it made me look at it like, all right, maybe the Mavericks world's cooking up something a little bit, you know? I still didn't think the reasoning that Nico provided for trading for Anthony Davis was warranted. I don't think he should have made that trade at the end of the day. But after seeing the trade, I was looking at it like, looking at their roster, the Mavericks seemed like, hey, you know what? Maybe they can make a run with this roster. You know, they got some defense, the big lineups. You got Kyrie Irving out in the backcourt to help out with things like that. I thought maybe that pairing is good. But since then, nothing has gone the Mavericks' way. Anthony Davis, that dominant half, gets injured after that. Everybody else gets injured. Gafford, Lively. Now Kai is out with an injury that is going to last him for a whole year, essentially. And then you going back, looking a month later, you have the Lakers at the number 2 seed right now. The Lakers have climbed back to the number 2 seed with the franchise player you just traded away. I don't see how what Nico Harrison literally thought that warranted the fact that you're going to trade a young 26-year-old superstar who's arguably top 3, top 5 in the NBA right now, trading them away for a 30-something-year-old star that has been known to go through injuries. And yes, Anthony Davis has had improvements with his injury the past 2 years. He's only been out for a few amount of games throughout the past 2 seasons. But that is something that always hangs over Anthony Davis's head. And you decided to go and be like, yeah, I'm going to trade for him because I want defense and we want to try to win now. When you just came off a season where you just went to the NBA Finals. You literally just went to the finals with the guy who you're complaining about, saying he's not in condition enough. He's not in shape enough. He doesn't do the things that you want to do. Instead of just looking yourself as a GM and as a franchise saying that, all right, maybe we got to work harder with him. I know we had these conversations time and time again with him. Maybe we need to try a new angle, because we're going to have him for the next decade plus, to be able to build around him and build the perfect team to X out all the flaws that Luka may have had. But instead, you took a cop out and was like, nah, bro, we don't even want to deal with that. Let's just go ahead and get rid of him and try to act like we're winning now with this pairing. You don't know if Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis was going to be the best pairing on the court, but you decided to be like, no, we don't want that. We don't want that. We don't want to deal with what Luka Doncic comes with. Literally trading away a 26-year-old superstar to now having hospital. A month later, this is what you have. You have in hospital. Your whole lineup is getting injured. I wouldn't be surprised if soon y'all calling up a bunch of G League players to come in and start for your team. Because last time I looked at a graphic, it was like 7 players injured. Caleb Martin, all these, like, even your role players are injured. It is so much going on. I think y'all had another injury last night with Hardy getting an ankle injury last night too. You have so much going on. And I don't see, as a Mavs fan, how you look at that. Like, it's no positive that you're looking at right now. If I'm a Mavs fan, it was a moment. It was a brief moment Mavs fans had when Anthony Davis came in. He had that dominant first half. You're like, okay, all right, maybe even though we just traded our superstar away, maybe this will turn into a great season for us going forward, and maybe we can have like a deep finals run or something like that. But that was taken away. That was quickly taken away. So now it's just like, what am I to look forward to as a Mavs fan? What do I have to look forward to? And to add insult to injury, Kyrie just got injured, but he also has a player option coming up into this season. So Kyrie Irving could decide to leave and go to another franchise if he wants to. He just seen you, how you treated your franchise superstar. He's seen you trade away your franchise star because you couldn't do the things that your franchise was supposed to do. You couldn't get him in shape. You couldn't get him to do the things that you wanted to do. So you said, all right, we're going to ship him out of here for that reason. That reason wasn't good enough. That wasn't a good enough reason to get rid of Luka Doncic. And now if I'm Kyrie, I'm looking at it like, if they willing to get rid of him for that stupid reason, how they going to treat me down the line? So why should I stay here? So Kyrie Irving may just look at this like, and I know some teams will be happy to take on Kyrie Irving, even though he's coming off an ACL injury. Kyrie Irving's game is not heavily dependent on jumping and athleticism and all that. He can come back and still be a great player. Well, he's like 32 right now, about to be 33. He can still come back and have a good amount of years left on his timeline. So if I'm the team and he says I want to be a free agent this year, I'm happy to take that on. So Mavs, like, they have to hope and pray that Kyrie Irving stays, because you have Anthony Davis here. He's only signed on for 2 years. But say if Kyrie Irving leaves and it's Anthony Davis by himself for that 1 year next year, that next following year, he may be like, all right, bro, I'm ready to get up out of here. Go ahead and trade me real quick. You go from a situation where you could have had Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving from years down the line, where y'all could have just continued to build around this player, to now a possibility where you have nothing going on in about a couple years. Because, it's not guaranteed that Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis is going to stay past this. Kyrie Irving is losing basically a year right now because of this injury. And so Anthony Davis is going to have to deal with that for about at least half a year, playing by himself, if he's not injured himself. So who's to tell if he doesn't get unhappy with that? So they may both end up leaving this franchise, and the Mavericks may be left with nothing at the end of the day, nothing to show for this trade. So it's just like, I don't know what's the possible outlook as a Mavs fan. What do you have? Like Nico Harrison, what can you show for yourself from this? What are you showing your fans? Like, how are you about to get them excited for the seasons coming down the line? What do you want to do for your fans? And I'm so like, I'm sick for Mark Cuban, because Mark Cuban was the guy, people were looking at him like, Mark, how can you allow this? Mark Cuban don't got nothing to do with that, man. He don't own that team no more. He's like a small percentage of that team now. He's confused too. Like, I know he wouldn't have let that go down. But Nico, man, Nico, whoo, you better watch out, man. Watch out in Dallas. With everything that has gone on in this past month, with them Lakers going up to that 2 seed, looking like they're really good right now, they could possibly be in contention for a championship this season. You better not let Luka Doncic and LeBron James go up there and win the championship this year. Nico Harrison, they gonna be looking for you, bruh. I'm trying to tell you. Woo, what they did from that trade initially, it's gonna be 10 times worse if Luka and them win the championship. You better hope and pray. If I'm Nico, I'm hoping and praying the Lakers fall off a cliff for the remainder of this season, for the remainder of like the next couple years. I'm hoping something happens if I'm Nico, because if the Mavericks don't have nothing to show for this trade, and the Lakers end up winning the championship with the star that you claim is not conditioned enough, not disciplined enough to do all that, if they do that, ooh, your head gonna be on the line, brother. You're gonna lose your job pretty quickly. That's all I'm saying, man. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about the things that's transpired in this last month with the Mavericks, Kyrie Irving getting injured, Anthony Davis injured. Let me know how y'all feel with the outlook. Like, what's the positives? If you're a Mavs fan, what would be the positives for you? Like, what would you look forward to? Are there any? If not, if there are any. But let me know in the comments. Let me know. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. When I'm out of here, peace.